Evil stepmom gets cucked by her sad stepdaughter and has her killed. Sad stepdaughter runs away into the arms of several different men, only to be their maid and bed warmer. Evil stepmom, now grandma, drugs sad stepdaughter and is killed by her harem. But sad stepdaughter is picked up by a sexy paramedic and taken to God. Snow White. Single mom does best she can to raise her delayed son in a neighborhood filled with mean-well individuals, only to be killed for it. Delayed son is taken in by a reluctant father and grows up to be an asshole. Seeing all his friends settle down, delayed son immediately gets involved with a girl with baggage. He beats her ex-boyfriend to death, then she sleeps with him in gratitude. Delayed son leaves her pregnant and the cycle continues. Bambi. A creepy old man wants a little boy, so a lady of the night gives him one. Their bastard son goes out into the real world after being born yesterday and is immediately scammed into slavery. Bastard son escapes slavery, only to be enslaved once more. Creepy old man searches for bastard son, then gets eaten by a whale. Bastard son escapes slavery and searches for creepy old man, only to be eaten by a whale. Lessons are learned. Pinocchio. Country boy is asked to protect his family from Texas. Texas is pissed. A stray dog saves the family from a bear, a bull, an army of pigs, and a wolf. Country boy loves the dog. His family loves the dog. I love the dog. The dog dies. Old Yeller. After petting her kitty, a junkie wants to know why the rabbit has a clock, so she stalks him. She plummets to her death, and Junkie is met with the gate to hell. To her dismay, she can't get in. After going subatomic, she is allowed entry. Then Junkie gets catcalled half a dozen times. She has dinner with 2 mental patients and doesn't eat. Then she plays the most boring game in the world and is sentenced to death. Junkie then takes drugs she's had in her pocket and has an outer body experience, waking up in the park hours later. Alice in Wonderland. A basic bitch from a privileged family decides to hook up with a sketchy hoodlum. Despite several interventions by friends, basic bitch is wined, dined, only to find that sketchy hoodlum is a slut. Basic bitch is betrayed and dumps sketchy hoodlum. A New Yorker breaks into her house and tries to eat a baby, only to be foiled by sketchy hoodlum. He kills the New Yorker and is taken into custody for murder. Though the charges were dropped, sketchy hoodlum is still in prison. Lady and the Tramp. A circus freak gets constantly humiliated publicly. So his Karen mom delivers street justice and is rejected by society, as is Circus Freak. A shady manager comes to exploit Circus Freak, and he successfully climbs to fame, only to come crashing down and become an alcoholic. Circus Freak gets scared straight, makes a comeback, gets his mom out of jail, and learns to respect the hustle. Dumbo. Scapegoat becomes beast of burden when all her parents conveniently die. She lives with her new foster mom and butterface sisters who torture her by making her sleep in a rat-infested room. Meanwhile, an evil king wants his son to get married, so he hosts a party for Instagram models. Hearing about the news, foster mom and the butterface sisters make plans to attend. They're about to leave when Scapegoat tries to tag along, only to be told she wasn't invited. On the verge of death, Scapegoat's Deus Ex Machina mother appears to revive her. The evil king's plan is a success when the bored prince spots Scapegoat and the party is saved. Until Scapegoat ruins it by leaving, bored prince scours the land to find Scapegoat through the power of his servants, only to fumble evidence that proved that she ever existed. Finally, Scapegoat appears and reveals that she is the hottest girl in the house, and her and the bored prince flee the country, never to return again. Cinderella. Spoiled ginger demigod gets kicked out of Penis Tower when her jack dad finds her pulsator. After being tricked into giving away her most annoying asset, ginger demigod becomes endearing and charms the prince that she's been crushing on sadder than Helga Pataki. Divine hates this and has a 1v1 with a pirate ship. Ginger demigod's jack dad apologizes and gives her legs. Then the priest gets a boner. The Little Mermaid. While a badass prince meets his child bride, somebody's evil ex-girlfriend is pissed that she wasn't invited to the party and vows to call CPS on everyone there. So 3 doomsday preppers take the child bride to their off-grid house in the forest to raise her in safety. 16 years later, a lonely girl dances through the forest with her only friends, vermin, when badass prince and his trusty steed Lollipop decide to step in. After meeting the first man she's ever seen, lonely girl decides to invite him to her birthday party. While their kid is gone, the doomsday preppers figure this is the perfect time to bring out the bong. But unfortunately, somebody's evil ex-girlfriend sees this on her Ring camera, and CPS finally shows up to take the kids. Lonely Girl is quickly given NyQuil, and now she is out. Badass Prince is released from the foster care system, and somebody's evil ex-girlfriend reveals her true colors and changes into her final form, somebody's evil ex-wife. So Badass Prince hits her with a court-ordered restraining order, sending her to hell, where she belongs. Lonely Girl wakes up and is thrusted back into society and reuniting with her family that abandoned her so long ago. Sleeping Beauty. A man-child abducts his teenage girlfriend and her two brothers with the help of his hot friend, taking them across time and space where they're attacked by Jordan Peterson and his crew. They make it out alive, so man-child brings teenage girlfriend back to his cult compound to be the mother of the Latchkey Kids. The Latchkey Kids take the two brothers to fight indigenous people for fun, while man-child brings teenage girlfriend to meet some Twitch streamers. Jordan Peterson passes by, and the Twitch streamers swim to the other side of the pool in fear. Man-child notices another teenage girl being kidnapped by Jordan Peterson, and he gets jealous and decides to counter-kidnap her. Then her dad throws a party. Teenage girlfriend realizes she's in a cult, so she decides to leave Neverland. But Jordan Peterson and his crew come to raid the compound, trying to make them grow up. Then Manchild and his hot friend save the day, and Jordan Peterson is eaten by a crocodile. Manchild does the right thing by taking his teenage girlfriend home. She tells her parents everything that happened, but they don't believe her. Peter Pan. A gold digger sleeps around town, scoring free meals from the moms of his students, until he spots his next target, a middle-class girl. So he and the town hooligan compete to see who's the bigger simp. The middle-class girl throws a party, and everybody's invited. During all the festivities, the hooligan tells an incriminating story, and the gold digger chickens out, going home early. On his way through the misleading forest, he freaks himself out into believing that something spooky's out there. But it's just his imagination. Or the Smashing Pumpkins. With their next big hit, the gold digger tries his best to get away, but he can't help himself. He has to stick his nose into his next rich victim. And unfortunately, today isn't the greatest. The gold digger was never seen again. Some say the Smashing Pumpkins killed him. Some say he ran. He ran so far away. But I'd like to think, despite all his rage, he is still just a rat in a cage. The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. A hot bookworm is put under a microscope by her entire village. Even the embodiment of toxic masculinity won't leave her alone. Even when she tells him she chooses the bear. Everything changes when her dad, Big Papa, goes missing. Hot bookworm goes to search for him, and finds him in the first place she looks. An abandoned castle. She asks the master of the castle, the bear, if they can trade places. It accepts and Big Papa is free to go. The bear tells her she can do whatever she wants in the castle, but don't touch his drum set. She gets depressed, and some magic junk tries to cheer her up by playing some music. She wants to join in, so she goes for the drum set, breaking the only rule in the house, and the bear kicks her out. She gets descended upon by wolves, and the bear realizes how hot she is and comes to his senses. He saves her but gets injured in the process. The hot bookworm nurses him back to health, and they get closer during a montage. The bear makes a baller move and gives her a library, and they have a Bridgerton-themed evening. Beauty and the Beast. A compulsive liar and his pet are constantly chased by the law, but he's too smart and attractive to get caught. He saves an undercover princess from getting her hand chopped off, but compulsive liar is thrown in the slammer, where he meets a senile old guy who only talks about gold! They break out of jail and head to the coolest thing I've ever seen. The old guy tells compulsive liar to go in and get a magic bong for him, to help him sleep at night and glaucoma. He decides to help the old guy and grabs a pipe, but the old guy betrays him. So compulsive liar tricks him out of the bong and gets stoned by himself. Turns out the bong is an eternal prison for a powerful magic man, who transforms compulsive liar into the baddest pimp alive. Then they throw him a parade. He starts feeling himself, and decides to take a crack at the formerly undercover princess. She believes everything that comes out of his mouth, and he takes her body to places it's never been. But before they get serious, the old guy steals the bong and uses it to take over the country. He starts tripping off the power and gets addicted, ultimately ruining his life forever. But everyone else seems okay. Aladdin. A bratty prince watches his dad die after wishing to be king, and he's immediately banished by his sus uncle Traitorous. He's then adopted by a flamboyant stranger and his fat lover. Years later, bratty prince and his friend from high school, Beyonce, hook up on a whim. She tells him his uncle Traitorous, now the new king, has been a dick and sucks the life out of everything. So bratty prince grows a pair and goes to face his uncle. A battle ensues and Uncle Traitorous is killed by his own men, making bratty prince the new king to award-winning acclaim. Hamlet. The Lion King. Sorry. A mad lad stops taking his Ritalin and tears up the town with all his newfound hobbies. He introduces his old mates to his new bestie, Homeboy the Horse. They pass by a sweet ride and go into a bar to buy it from its owner, only to be arrested and put on trial, where Homeboy makes a horse's ass out of the judge, and he finds Mad Lad guilty of Grand Theft Auto. Thanks to the Mafia. It's Christmas, and Mad Lad's in a lonely cell. Until Homeboy shows up in drag to break him out. A high-speed chase ensues and Mad Lad ends up at Christmas dinner, where his accountant tells him that the Peaky Blinders cheated Mad Lad out of his mansion. And he's innocent of all charges. So the boys come up with a diabolical plan to get back the deed. A gang war starts and Mad Lad and the boys are victorious. And he gets his house back just in time for Christmas. The Wind in the Willows. An emo deadhead is tired of being every big-tittied goth girl's wet dream, so he decides to flip the script with the help from the ghoul next door, and trade places with Santa against his will. Emo deadhead pulls a reverse Grinch, while Santa falls into the hands of a sack of shit. Christmas gets successfully ruined, and emo deadhead gets blasted out of the sky. Then a song leaves his sad boy lips. What's the worst thing I can say? Things are better if I stayed. So long and good night. So long and good night. Emo Deadhead arrives just in time to save Santa, so he can save Christmas. Then Emo Deadhead realizes, big-tittied goth girls aren't so bad. The Nightmare Before Christmas.